Students, welcome back to our biology session. We're going to start with our new chapter today, that is excretory system. Now, what do we have to learn in this chapter, excretory system? As the name suggests, we need to know about the process of excretion. We need to know about the different organs that are involved in the excretion, in the process of the excretion. We need to know about what are the substances which are to be eliminated from the body, and over and above we need to know about the entire excretory system, as in what are the organs, the internal organization of the organs which are involved in the process of excretion. Now, if I ask you all a simple meaning of excretion, what would you say? You all would simply tell me that, ma'am, it is removal of the waste from our body, right? Yeah, that is what I think you all would define excretion as. But tell me, how is this waste generated in our body? The definition is absolutely right if you all thought about that definition. But how is that waste generated in our body? See, inside our body there are continuously various metabolic activities taking place. Now, what do you mean by this metabolic activities? Metabolic activities का मतलब होता है there are many chemical reactions which are taking place. Now, if the chemical reactions are taking place, like for example, breaking down of carbohydrates, breaking down of fats, breaking down of proteins. So when these products are being broken down, it is obvious that your body is getting something. What is your body getting? Your body is getting energy, for sure. But you are even making some waste from this product. Okay, so this waste has to be eliminated out from the body, and that is what we say is the definition of excretion: the removal or elimination of the waste from your body with the help of the excretory organs is called as excretion. Now, you can even say an example of metabolism of proteins. Now here when I talk about excretion, we are going to precisely talk about the removal of nitrogenous waste. Now how are these nitrogenous waste formed in our body? Through the metabolism of protein. Metabolism, again, what do I mean? Metabolism as in breaking and formation of protein. What did I say? Breaking and formation of protein. And what are the byproducts or the waste products that are being formed by these proteins? Now, protein diet, अगर आप देखोगे, if you all just focus on the protein diet, it is very healthy, right? Now, what is the protein diet going to help you in? It's going to help you in the muscle formation, right? It's going to help you in the building up of your body. Okay, but my dear students, in the muscle formation, in the building up of your body, what else is happening? There are many waste from this protein that are being made. And what are these waste? Urea, uric acid, nitrogenous waste. And what would happen if you all store this waste in your body? These are the major poisons of your body, toxins of your body. If you don't remove these toxins from your body, a person can even die. And that important is the process of excretion. So, if I want to define what is excretion, let us define it by saying it's the process of removal of chemical waste, mainly nitrogenous waste from the body. That process is called as excretion. We say that excretion process plays a very important role in maintaining the homeostatic condition of the body. Now when I say homeostatic condition of the body, I meant that it is required to maintain the balance of the body. Now balance as in, I'm not talking about body balance. No, I'm talking about the balance of the minerals, that is electrolytes, and I'm talking about water. As in, we all know that when the minerals are excess in body, even they are excreted out from the body. When the water is excess in body, even water is being excreted out from the body, and thereby this balance of the water and mineral is called as homeostatic condition of the body. Okay, now the excretory system is made up of what? It is made up of all those organs that are concerned with the formation, storage and the elimination of what? Elimination of urine. Now, my dear students, why has ma'am just mentioned that excretion or excretory system is a system which contains all those organs which are involved in the formation, storage and elimination of urine? Now, इसमें बाद में आते हैं. Why has ma'am mentioned only about urine and why not fecal matter? Okay, right, it should be ideally excretion of formation, storage and elimination of urine and fecal matter. If it is excretion, it should be, if it is removal of waste, it should be of urine and fecal matter, right? But why has ma'am just mentioned here about urine? Okay, let us keep this here as a question mark. Now, first answer me this question: is excretion and defecation the same? Now, ideally your textbook asks this question: is excretion and defecation the same? But your ma'am has included one more term over here to make it even more confusing, right? तो पहले ही आप confused हो, उसको और confusing करने के लिए I have added one more term. Is excretion, defecation and egestion same? Give it a thought, think for a moment, okay, and then keep thinking about the answers in your mind. What is ma'am trying to ask? Is excretion, defecation and egestion the same? Now, if you have thought about these answers, go on to the next question. What's the difference between excretion, egestion and defecation? अब एक का सवाल मिला नहीं, एक का जवाब मिला नहीं, दूसरा सवाल आ गया. As in, first you all need to know what's the difference, what's the similarity, and even if there is any similarity or no. If no, then what's the difference, right? Now, to make it simpler for you all, let me tell you one thing: defecation and egestion is same. Defecation and egestion is same. Now, please think about the topic of digestive system. Digestive system में तुम लोगों ने सीखा होगा that there are 5 important steps of digestive system. The food is being taken in by the process of ingestion. The food is digested by the process of digestion. The food is absorbed into the blood by the process of absorption. The food is then utilized by the process of assimilation, and then the food is digested. The food is digested. That means the undigested food is being thrown out of the body through the rectum by the process of egestion or defecation. Defecation fecal matter के form में the undigested food. We are talking about digestive system. Please try to understand that, my dear students. Digestive system को आप excretory system से relate नहीं कर सकते हो. Okay, so in this step of digestive system, we have this step of defecation and egestion. Okay, which is ideally the same. So if I want you all to No, what is the definition of defecation? Defecation का definition क्या होगा? It is the removal of the undigested food through the opening called as rectum. And what would be the definition of excretion? It is the removal of the poisonous waste, the toxin waste through kidneys. Okay, which organs are involved in the removal? With the help of the kidneys is called as excretion. तो ideally देखा जाए तो हमारे system को, okay, the excretory system should not be called as excretory system, but उसको urinary system would be an appropriate word, right? Why? Because हम बनाते क्या हैं? Urine. Okay, the body, what is the kidney making in the entire process? Urine. Okay, now for your information, let me tell you one thing. When the babies are born ना, newborn जो होता है ना, बच्चे जब born होते हैं ना, वो time पे I don't know how many of them know about this fact or no. Newborns, if they don't defecate, as in if they don't pass motion for a week or even for 10 days, that is okay. That is no big deal. Why? Because try to understand the logic. What are they on? Which diet are these babies on? Mother's milk, right? सो मदर्स मिल्क में क्या ही बनता है उनके बॉडी में? कुछ नहीं, जो भी है लिक्विड डाइट रहता है ना. सो सॉलिड अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड नहीं बनता है, एंड दैट्स द रीजन दे डोंट मेक एनी फीकल मैटर. दैट्स द रीजन it is okay even if they don't defecate for a week or even more. That is acceptable. But my dear students, if even for a single day, if the newborn has not passed urine, that baby is immediately admitted to a different ward. The baby is admitted to an NICU ward. Why? Because try to understand, अगर आपके बॉडी में poisonous waste बच गया, रह गया, if your body is not trying to filter out, your kidney is not trying to filter out the poison, that means it is letting the poison to stay back in your body. Somewhere it's going to get mixed with the blood and it's going to get spread, right? And that is very risky for a child. So even for a normal healthy person, if you don't pass fecal matter for a day, generally you feel heavy, okay, you feel constipated. You can keep yourself on a fiber diet for a day or two maybe, okay, but if you don't pass urine even for a single day, no, not acceptable. You cannot keep storing poison in your body. Okay, so this is what is the difference between excretion, defecation and egestion, right? Now, substances to be eliminated through our body. Now, what are the substances which we need to eliminate from our body? The list is carbon dioxide, water, nitrogenous waste, excess salts, water again, and bile pigments. Okay, now we need to understand that in our body there are multiple reactions, as I already mentioned. Why? Because we eat the food, we absorb the food, we utilize that food, and the waste is being formed, and that waste can be in the different forms, okay, which has to be eliminated, otherwise it can be a poison to the body. Okay, so the first important waste which we need to understand. The first waste is carbon dioxide and water. Now they are mainly produced through the reaction of respiration. We all know in the process of respiration, glucose is oxidized, releasing carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide is expired out through lungs, and water is being generally released out through our body in the form of sweat. Okay, so this becomes one of the waste which is being released from our body. Second is nitrogenous waste, and this includes urea, uric acid, ammonia, okay, and ammonium products, all the ammonia products. Now it's been clearly said that excess of amino acids, they cannot stay back, they cannot be stored in our body. As you compare a carbohydrate with a protein, okay, so carbohydrates generally are stored in our body in the form of glycogen, but that's not the case with amino acids. Amino acids, when they are excess in our body, try to understand the chemical formula of amino acid itself has nitrogen in its composition, right? So since it has nitrogen, the excess cannot be stored in our body, they have to be thrown out of our body. So what happens to this excess amino acid? They are being taken to the liver, and what happens is they are being broken down. These amino acids here, AA stands for amino acids, they are taken to the liver and they are broken down to glucose and urea, where glucose is somewhere stored in our body in the form of glycogen, or if the body requires it immediately, it is utilized, and urea is being excreted out with the help of kidneys. Now, as already said and also mentioned over here, urea is highly poisonous, so if allowed to accumulate in the blood to a certain level, it can also lead to death of a person. Okay? Now, third important product or the waste product, I would say, is excess of salts. Inside our body, excess of electrolytes also are not good. Okay, and these electrolytes or these salts include generally sodium chloride, which are being released out in the form of sweat. We all, by any chance, we must have tasted our sweat. I'm not saying that you all must have licked your sweat, but sometimes during playtime or these days working in kitchen, since it's so sunny, होता है ना, by chance you all must have you all tasted your sweat, right? So what is it? It is salty in taste. So how is it? So what have you all noticed is through sweat, these excess of these salts are being released out from our body. Also, the vitamins like vitamin B and C, which are water soluble vitamins, even they are being excreted out or released out from our body through kidneys. Okay, also multiple other salts like for example potassium, magnesium, these all salts are also being released out or excreted out from our body through kidneys, and therefore, as mentioned earlier, the kidneys or the process of excretion is considered as to maintain the homeostatic condition of the body. Now fourth is water. Again, why have I mentioned water? Because here it was the product of respiration, and separately water also is being excreted out to a greater extent. We all know that urine major component of urine is what? It is water. Now it's been said that large quantities of water is taken in with the food and the different forms of beverages, and the excess quantity is also being removed out or it's been excreted out in what form? By either dissolving the harmful materials in them and then carrying them away out from the body. Okay, so जितना आप utilization में लेते हो पानी को, उतना ही पानी is being excreted out from the body. Maybe उतना ही नहीं, क्योंकि some amount is also being utilized to perform the metabolic reactions. Okay, so maybe leaving that some amount, the rest is being removed from the body. Fifth is bile pigments. Now, what are bile pigments? Here there are two: bilirubin, biliverdin. We are going to specifically talk about bilirubin. Now, what happens to, how are these bile pigments formed? RBCs, the shelf life of RBCs is only 120 days. After 120 days, what happens is the RBCs do not stay alive. So these dead RBCs are taken to the liver. from this RBCs, the hemoglobin content is being removed. The hemoglobin content is being further broken down, and they further form these bile pigments, that is bilirubin, biliverdin. And from these bile pigments, it is bilirubin which has this peculiar color of yellowish brown, which is further responsible to give the color to the fecal matter. Not only that, there is also one more pigment that has been formed, that is urochrome, which is also responsible to give the coloration to the urine. Okay, so urochrome is the pigment to give the color to the urine, and bilirubin is the pigment which gives the color to the fecal matter. Okay, so these are the 5 important substances which have to be eliminated out from our body. If not, they can be fatal to our body. Okay, now what do we need to know next? We need to know next what are the excretory organs which are present in our body. So starting with first, we all know, if we talk about the process of excretion, no doubt kidneys are the primary excretory organ. Okay, that is going to help in the removal of urea, uric acid, and all the nitrogenous waste. Okay, so that if there is a failure of kidney, there are 2 kidneys, we all know that. Failure of one kidney still is going to support that body and going to allow the excretion process continue. But failure of both the kidneys, no, the person will not be able to survive until and unless the person opts for artificial kidney option. So kidneys here become the primary excretory organ. Okay, and how do they remove all these excretory products? With the help of urine. Sweat glands. Now, sweat glands is an optional excretory organ, or you can ideally say it is not truly an excretory organ. Why? Because our body sweats to maintain our body temperature. Okay, if we would not sweat, what's going to happen? Maybe we would start showing a rise in our temperature, that is fever. Okay, so basically sweat glands rather are going to function in a way. You had the concepts of sweat gland, that is thermodilation and vasodilation and vasoconstriction. These concepts in your last year's chapter, that is the skin. Okay, so just relate those concepts with this concept of sweat glands, where these sweat glands mere act as a temperature controller, okay, or a thermoregulator. Okay, so here it's only required to cool down your body. No doubt minimal amount of urea is also being excreted out in your sweat, but that nowhere can define that sweat glands would be considered as a excretory organ. Okay, but since it excretes out some amount, it's been included. Lungs. Again the same thing. Ideally lungs are responsible, or they are the key respiratory organs. But since lungs also release out, or they expire, or they exhale the carbon dioxide gas, which is also one of the end product, they are being included under the excretory organs. Otherwise देखा जाए तो lungs भी आपके की respiratory organ में आते हैं and not as your excretory organs. Okay, so this was all about this slide, which includes the definition of excretion, the differences between excretion, defecation, egestion, substances to be eliminated, and your excretory organs. Thank you.